My friends, what is going on? Hope you had a wonderful weekend and Memorial Day. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get the video started, what I always go over, nothing I say is financial advice. Everything I'm doing is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You always need to do what's best for you and your portfolio, not what I think is best, not what anybody else on the internet think is best. Make the best decision you possibly can for you and for your family. That's your number one responsibility. So, also, if you haven't done so already, please follow me on Twitter, Colin_Gladman. It's always the easiest way to ask me questions. Also, too, I won't ever DM you about crypto trades or anything along those lines. There's lots of scam accounts going on, so just be safe, ignore those. Make sure, always check the followers and everything along those lines. Right now I'm a little over 19,000, coming up on 20 it looks like. So just make sure to check the followers, check the account before you respond or anything like that. But what I wanted to do is jump in here and let's talk about and analyze AMC's price action today. Like I tweeted out earlier, I said I know I'm in the small minority, maybe the only one, but I actually thought AMC moved just fine today. So let's talk about why. So jumping into the chart, this is going to be on a more micro basis. This is going to be on the 15-minute chart is what I'm doing right here. So I tweeted out right at the beginning of the day that 1.618 target that I talked about as far as our fib extension. So right here, if you went from your low to your high to your low, I mean, just almost perfectly hit the 1.618. That was my target on my trade. Now, when that happened, we opened up today. I think even in pre-market, we got as high as like 16 something. Well, here, let me just turn on extended hours. So yeah, I mean, we got all the way up here as high as $16.64. And so today, with the overall market pulling back quite a bit, plus the RSI getting really hot on a micro basis, then I'm not surprised at the pullback today at all. And honestly, I think it was healthy. If you look at from right here, from our low all the way up to the high, that was like a 55% move basically over 2 days. So you're not going to have moves like that without your indicators really starting to run hot and needing a pullback along the way. You can go back and look at any run, January, June, anything like that. Even when we were really cooking, having those 100% days, there were still pullbacks along the way. So as far as I'm concerned, this was a healthy pullback. If we look at it from a fib standpoint, then right here, basically we broke through the 236 and the 236 is acting as resistance. However, if we move the fib up to the bottom of wave 2, which was the trade that I was talking about, I mean, basically the 382 broke a little bit below it, but by the end of the day, the 382 was acting as support, and that's going to be your most common retrace for wave 4 before seeing a wave 5. Now, wave 5s are not guaranteed. You can have what's called truncated wave 5s, which is basically a double top, so like a push back up. So once we push back up here into the $16 range, we're definitely going to want to see some volume really start to pick up there. But I mean, even it opened today, I mean, this move was just unsustainable. I mean, the RSI opened at 82. Even if you look back here, the previous runs, you get up to 88. Pretty much even the March run, if you get up here to that 87, 88, it's just not sustainable. You're going to have the big pullbacks at that point in time. So this was a great day to pull back on that RSI. Now we're sitting at the end of the day right around 47. So we're sitting in neutral territory. So I would definitely like to see us start pushing back up. Towards the upper range on the RSI. I was just looking at futures, so it's 10:43 right now my time, and futures are looking really good. So yeah, plus 163 on the Dow, plus 13 on the S&P, plus 27 on the NASDAQ, plus 8.5 on the Russell. So as of right now, futures are really green. So I'd be hoping for an overall market bounce, which obviously, we'd want AMC to be bouncing with the overall market. AMC was super strong today, but no matter, how good a catalyst we have with Top Gun, just smashing its estimates. I tweeted on Friday that I was shocked that the estimates were only at 100 million, and I literally tweeted like I'm taking the over on that, and it came in at 160 million. I was thinking 125 to 130, but then when I saw the movie, plus was seeing the reactions in the Thursday showings, I was like, then I tweeted out I think 150 is possible, and it still even beat that, and that is awesome. So it was just a great movie. If you haven't seen it yet, man, go check it out. It is awesome. So that's what I would be looking for. So downside targets are going to be the 382 at 1357. If we don't get a good overall market, if the overall market is looking solid, then I think we can, we can see some more upside here. So once again, I think as I didn't tweet out. I made the video on it on my weekly outlook video, that the upside here, a good solid wave 5 is the same as wave 1. So that would take us up into like the 1750 range. So that's still going to be my upside target. As of right now, we'll be moving up towards 1750. And then downside targets are going to be here. Would really like to see, this 1350 hold. Another reason that we kind of got stopped out where we are is you can see right here, this was all previous resistance that kicked us way down. So the fact that we came up here, touched that, and got knocked off, and are going to need to, kind of circle back up, kind of making, if you guys watch Rico at all, Rico's trades, he talks about how it kind of makes these reverse J patterns as we climb up, and I definitely agree with him on that. So the RSI got cooled off. If we go out here to the 1 hour, you can see here, look at that. Look at these tops on the RSI. So it's just anytime it gets that hot, you're just going to have some pullbacks coming along the way. So we got a decent cool off on the 1 hour today. Even the 4 hour, show you here in just a second. 4 hour wasn't getting too hot, but it's starting to get there. So I'd like to see, we've got room to run on both the 4 hour and the daily. If I pull up the MACD, even though, look at this, we've got a divergence here. So even though, today was a red day, we still got solid momentum, big green bars. We had nice volume today, 106 million shares traded. So great volume day. We've got a nice little divergence going on the MACD, which is going to be your momentum trader. So, it's just, like I said, just like I tweeted out, I'm in the small minority, but overall, especially with how bad the overall market was, I was very happy with how AMC moved. If we come over here to GME, kind of same thing. Its RSI has cooled off. If we look here from the bottom to its top, right now, GME resting right here. Oops, where'd my triangle or my arrow go? Boom. So right here, GME, we have a double bottom on its 382, starting to push back up towards the top. So GME is looking good as well. Now, if we were looking at this kind of from the same perspective as AMC, because obviously I'm a believer that these two stocks pretty much move together. But if we look at it from its extension, then we could be looking at some upside targets like the 1.618 is at 220. Obviously, GME has got their meetings and everything along those lines. They've got earnings, all that good stuff. So I'm probably going to be snagging some calls when it comes to GME. But once again, as always, you need to do what is best for you and your portfolio. Lastly, I'm trying to make this video as quick as I can, guys. Pulling up the cycle chart. Like I said, everything is looking good here. Same thing as the comparison of the weekly outlook. My right chart is on the 3 hour. Over here is on the 30-minute. Just so that way you can really kind of see the shapes, how it's taking longer. But the nice thing about this that we're seeing right now is, so we had our lower low, okay, followed by a higher high. Then we've got a higher low, followed by a higher high. So that's what you want to see as far as bullish momentum is concerned. You can see down here in the volume that the bullish volume, the buying pressure is definitely what is in charge here. So overall, like I said, I'm very happy with how things are going right now. On that 3-hour chart, we have the 1348 crossover. Let's go see what it looks like on the 4-hour. So oops. I always do that with that tool. So not quite just yet, but I mean, if we can see some continuation right here, then we could definitely see, if we get that, 1348 cross on the 4-hour. Let's go and see what we're looking like on the daily. Yeah, daily, we're starting to curl up, but we still got a ways to go as far as the daily is concerned. So, I mean, once again, I'm a long-term investor. I'm not looking for anything having to happen, right away. As of right now, I hold no call positions on AMC. All those 16 calls I sold this morning at open, plus the ones that I trimmed out on Friday. So I only held a few runners, but sold all of those. If you follow me on Twitter, my son decided to sell some covered calls right at open today, and he did fantastic. Absolutely made a killing on it. And so he made, and once again, his count's much smaller at 3,500, but I mean, he made $140 on that account just in one day. So what is that, like a 5% rate of return, right around 5% in one day? So I mean, that's awesome. So once again, that's why I always say, sell high IV, buy low IV. So once the RSI and the IV starts to cool off, that's when you can look at calls. When the RSI is super hot, and the IV is super hot and the premiums are super hot, then that's when it's time to that's when it's time to do some covered call selling. If you go back and you watch my video that says think like a market maker, that's what they're going to do. They're going to constantly be trying to bring balance into it. So when one side gets too heavily weighted, they're going to go the other way, in my opinion. So, but overall, like I said, everything is looking good. Don't be mad. Once again, we're all in this in the long game. Everything is tracking real nice as of right now. And if you look here too, this is another thing that I wanted to point out, and then I'll let you guys get out of here. But right here, look at the similarities. Weird. I know. So right here, so this little bear flag that happened right here, when it really started to push out, it got rejected off the top, had to come back, and this is what I was talking about, like those reverse J patterns. So what do we have here? The little bear flag that dumped us out. Where did we get rejected? Right there. So my best guess is going to be we're coming down here to kind of make a little J pattern, start heading back up. So that's going to be what I'm looking for over the rest of this week. Who knows how long that J pattern will take, but all is well. Relax. We've all been in this play for a long time. What's time, right? I tweeted out just this weekend, when if you want to be healthy and in great shape, you got to work out and you got to eat right. So what rich people do is when something fundamentally awesome happened, Top Gun was fundamentally awesome, made a ton of money, blowing out expectations. I had so many people, I tweeted out a Facebook post of people who were like, I hadn't been to the movie in years, and I saw what was going on, and oh my gosh, I don't know how my son's stuff like whatever. But they were talking about how, I hadn't been to a movie in years, decided to jump on the hype and the bandwagon of Top Gun, yada, yada, yada. So, something awesome happened, price goes down, it's a great time to buy, okay? When there's a disconnect in price. When everybody is super excited and happy, that's why my calls, I closed them out immediately, because all my Twitter feed was, let's go, 300% day, coming in hot, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yep, it's time for me to get out of my calls. So that's why I sold the rest of my calls at that moment. But I'll be honest, I was not brave enough to open up covered calls like my son did. So cool stuff. Anyway, that's going to be everything for this video. So just sit tight, relax. Once again, we'll be looking for kind of that reverse J pattern taking shape. And overall market matters. Volume is king. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Y'all have a great evening. See you tomorrow.